Dina Lawson, the president of the Scotch Plains, New Jersey chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. It is my honor to welcome you on behalf of our chapter to our Care for the Caregivers program presented by the Phi Eta Omega Program Committee. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is the first African-American sorority founded on the campus of Howard University in 1908. We are an organization with a core mission of service to all mankind. Alpha Kappa Alpha is dedicated to implementing programs of service that enhance the social, economic, and educational well-being of the local, national, and international communities. This evening's program will focus on Target 2, Women's Healthcare and Wellness. Care for the Caregivers places emphasis on taking care of those who take care of others. You are all in for an informative evening. Please engage and ask questions. The program is designed to equip you with what you need as a caregiver for your loved ones. Without further ado, Liz Nolly Tillman, Vice President and Program Chairman, will do the honors of formally introducing our very special guest, owner of Oasis Senior Advisors of Central Jersey, Ms. Connie Pizarro. Liz?
Thank you, Madam President, and welcome everyone to tonight's workshop. It is indeed my honor to introduce you to our very special guest and featured presenter tonight, Ms. Constance R. Pizarro. After a very successful career as a technology professional on Wall Street, Connie left corporate America to pursue her dream of entrepreneurship. She is the proud owner of 3 Oasis Senior Advisors franchises and Dementia Awareness Training, LLC. Having earned her certification as a certified senior advisor, Connie counsels senior citizens and provides resources for pertinent issues related to health, finances, legal matters, and senior living options. She offers these services through her business, Oasis Senior Advisors, which provides a free service for families seeking locating alternative living options for their loved ones, with an emphasis on assisted living and memory care communities. In 2020, during the pandemic, Connie put her time to good use and she created Dementia Awareness Training. Through this venture, Connie provides training to healthcare professionals and families about dementia-related diseases and the effects that it has on older adults. Additionally, Connie is a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, where she served as the 32nd North Atlantic Regional Director. In that capacity, she oversaw 138 graduate and undergraduate chapters in the sorority's then second largest region. Connie has a passion for leadership development and scholarship. During her tenure as North Atlantic Regional Director, Connie awarded over $28,000 in scholarships for leadership development and scholastic endeavors through her endowed scholarship fund, and her philanthropic commitment continues today. Connie is a member of the Nu Xi Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha, where she conceptualized the chapter's nonprofit organization, Pearls Incorporated, and served as its first president and as one of its incorporators. In recognition for her outstanding community service and commitment, the Tribune magazine recognized Connie as an African-American leader. Additionally, she received the Ida B. Wells Community Service Award from the Metuchen branch of the NAACP and the Black Achievers in Industry Award presented by the Harlem YMCA. Her civic and community affiliations include North Stelton AME Church, where she serves as a member of the Board of Stewards and Director of Finance, Raritan Valley chapter of the Links Incorporated, Jewish Family Services of Middlesex County, the Piscataway chapter of Business Networking International, Women in Leadership at Hofstra University, the Long-Term Living Association, Somerset County Office on Aging Advisory Council, and the Senior Citizen Advisory Board of Franklin Township. A New York native, Connie earned her Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science from Hofstra University, and she earned a certificate, she also holds certification as a certified senior advisor, a certified dementia practitioner, a certified Alzheimer's disease and dementia care trainer, and a certified Montessori dementia care professional. Additionally, she graduated from Rutgers Business School's Entrepreneurs Pioneer Initiative in December of 2018. She resides in Somerset, New Jersey with her husband of 36 years, Ed, and they have 2 adult children, Cameron and our sorority sister, Crystal. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to introduce to some and reintroduce to others, Ms. Constance R. Pizarro.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Nolly, Mrs. Tillman, excuse me. I've known you from Nolly for so long.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that warm introduction. And I'd like to also thank the president, Ms. Lawson, for having me here. So I hope that this evening is informative and helps those who are caregivers. So we're going to get started. We have an hour. And so during this time, I'm going to give you some information. Can you see my screen? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So I'm going to give you some information about caregiving, about being a caregiver and taking care of yourself. We're going to do the exercise we're going to do at the very end to help you to learn a technique where you can de-stress, and we're going to give you some resources that might be good for you for your loved one that you're caring for. So, care for the caregiver. Let's first talk about who is a caregiver. How many of you are caregivers? You can type in the chat, or you can come off mute if it's quiet behind you, and just tell me, how many of you right now are serving in a caregiving role? Okay, sometimes we are caregivers for our spouse. Sometimes we're caregivers for our life partner. Sometimes we're caregivers for our parents. And the one that we often forget about is our children. As parents, we are caregivers. So caregivers, though, are typically over 18, and it's really talking about providing care for someone else. And this presentation is going to slant a little more toward caring for the elderly and the disabled. Okay, so according to the 2020 Caregivers of the United States report for AARP, more than 1 in 5 Americans are caregivers. So you can see that a lot of people are caregivers. From 2015 until 2020, the number of caregivers caring for another adult increased by more than 8 million people. Okay, so when you look at it and you say, I don't know if I'll ever be in that situation of caring for another adult. My parents are both gone, so I don't think I'll be in that situation. But the other adult that you might find yourself caring for might be your sibling. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind too, that when we're caring for, as we begin to age, unfortunately, we also become the elderly. Okay, I try not to think of myself in that way, but I have to say, I'm not 40 anymore. I'm not 50 anymore. And in a couple of weeks, I have to say that I'm in my 60s. I can no longer say that I am 60. And so as you start approaching those numbers, you realize that, I am one of those senior citizens, okay? So how do you become a caregiver? Do you sign up for it like a committee? Okay. Are you voluntold? Were you the only single one in your family? Did you draw the short straw? A lot of times when you become a caregiver, it's not because you raised your hand and said, I want to do this. I want to take care of mom or dad, or I want to take care of my spouse, or I want to take care of my brother or sister. It usually happens because no one else says they're going to do it. And then tag your it. Or your siblings tell you, well, your house is big enough. I have a small place, so it's going to stay with you. Or I'm married. I got this job. You don't have any kids. You're single. People assume because you're single and don't have kids that you have all this time. Well, it doesn't matter how you became the caregiver. The thing is what you do with it once you realize that you are a caregiver. And understand, caregiving is like a ministry. Everyone cannot be a caregiver. It takes a very special talent. So if you're caring for someone, understand that I understand and everyone else understands that you have to be a very special person to do that. Now, a lot of you, maybe not recently, but most of us have flown on a plane, and on the flight, it'll tell you, put your mask on first before you try to help anyone else. That's the same thing with caregiving. And self-care is very important. Why is it so important? It's important because if you do not take care of yourself, then you cannot possibly take care of anyone else. The most important thing that you can do as a caregiver is take care of yourself. Did you know that between 40 and 70% of caregivers live with a significant amount of depression? Did you know that? 40 to 70%. Now, here's a number that you probably are going to be shocked to hear. But 50% of family caregivers, non-paid, meaning you and I on this phone, we don't do it as a profession, 50% of caregivers pass away before the person they're taking care of. 50%. So I saw some eyes go, wow, yeah, that is true. And the reason is because we don't take care of ourselves. We spend the time to make sure a loved one gets to their doctor appointment. We make sure that they have a healthy meal. We make sure that they're getting rest. But what happens to us? We don't do it. We're so busy taking care of the other one that we don't take care of ourselves. And you're right, Dina. Self-care is the key. So that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. Self-care. And what does self-care look like? They're all different types. And you can see here in this slide, I've shown you different types of self-care. So we have physical self-care, which is centered around sleeping. So you say, oh, well, I get some sleep, Connie. Every night I get some sleep. How much sleep are you getting? So here's a way to test if you're getting enough sleep. If you need your alarm to wake you up, you are not getting enough sleep. Your body knows how much rest you need. So when you lay down at night to go to sleep, and let's say you lay down at 10 o'clock and your body wakes up at 7, that's because it's recharged and it's ready. Think about when we take our cell phone and we plug it up to recharge it, right? So that we can use it the next day. That's what a good night's sleep is. You lay down so you can recharge. If you need to have the alarm clock wake you up, I'm sorry, Marie, am I staticky? Can you hear me okay? I thought he said I was staticky. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me all right.
No.
Okay, great.
Connie, you're fine.
Okay.
She was talking about a startling statistic, not staticky.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was
50%.
trying to read and talk at the same time.
No worries.
Okay.
No worries. You're good.
So you need to make sure you give yourself a bedtime. Now, I know we're all busy women, and our bedtime is usually when we just drop, but we need to stop that. We need to say at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I'm going to bed. Because let's be real, whatever it is that we're doing, it's going to be there tomorrow. And you can keep on doing stuff. You're never really going to be done. You're never really going to be done. So sleep is key. Walking is key. Get some walking in. Go outside. Maybe do some yoga. Do some stretching. Eating healthy. Let me say that one again. Eating healthy. Okay? Eating healthy doesn't mean we've prepared this great meal for our loved one and then we run out and go get some fast food and shoving these cold fries down while we're driving around to go pick up a prescription and go to a doctor's appointment. No. You eat that same healthy meal that you have made for your loved one. Emotional self-care, dealing with stress management, dealing with your emotional well-being, forgiveness, kindness. Now, why do you say, Connie, why do you say forgiveness and kindness? When you're taking care of a loved one and there are other people that could be taking care of them, and you perceive that you're not getting any help, you build up resentment for those other people who are not helping you. And those other people could be your siblings. It could be other family members that you feel, why can't they help me? Why can't they pitch in? And then you become resentful. And now that's like a cancer inside of you. Okay. And it hinders you from doing what you can do and being the best caregiver that you can be. You have to let that go and forgive. Remember what I said in the beginning, everyone cannot be a caregiver. So it is a blessing if you have the personality, the skill set, the traits, the emotional well-being to care for another person. Everyone cannot do that. So learn forgiveness. Also, sometimes we begin to resent the person that we're taking care of because they're taking up so much of our time. So we have to work on that, okay? So that's also part of our self-care. Now, for social, what can we do? And from our social realm of self-care, one is putting up boundaries, okay? That's something that I had to learn. I'm not good with boundaries. I would let people call me any time of night and I'm going to answer the phone because I always want to be available and help people. No, stop. After a certain time, you can't have contact with me. I'm tired and I need to rest. I can't be there for you all the time because I need to be there for me. So you have to put up boundaries. And sometimes there are things that you want to do, but you can't do everything all the time. And so sometimes you have to say, I can't do this today because I need to do another thing. The key here too, that I want to stress is asking for help. Sometimes we don't have help because we haven't asked anyone to help us. And we see asking for help as a weakness. I can do it all. I'm strong. I'm superwoman. Give me my cape. Wear this cape. Got this S on my chest because I'm superwoman. I can do it all. No. Not only ask for help, but accept help. When someone says, you know what, I can sit with your mom, your dad, your sibling, your child for an hour while you go get your nails done, say thank you. Take them up on it. Okay? Don't say, oh no, I got it. Don't be the martyr. It's okay. Someone else can sit there with mom or dad. Nothing's going to happen in that 1 hour while you're gone. It'll be fine. Okay? So I have other types of self-care that's here when we talk about spiritual self-care, taking time alone, meditating. Okay? You may also want to do some journaling. Sometimes things, and when we write it down, it helps us to get it out. You know, we don't have to say it necessarily to someone, but you put it down on a piece of paper and you feel as though you've gotten it down. From a personal perspective, hobbies. Know yourself, know what you like to do. Don't take everything out of your life when you become a caregiver. Continue doing some of those things that you enjoy doing. Now you may say, how can I find time to do this? when I'm caring for someone all the time, you can. We make time for the things we have to. And if you don't, you may not be here to help that person or to be a caregiver anymore. Okay? Finances. Make sure you budget, you save some money. Caregiving can be very expensive. Sometimes when you become a caregiver, it means you have left your job. So some people actually leave their job to care for their loved one, and now they are tight and they can't pay the bills. They can't do, life changes for them. Okay. So always try to make sure that you have some savings. Okay. That you plan for emergencies. So plan for the rainy day because it's going to rain. Okay. Plan for that rainy day. Now, I want to talk to you about some resources. And these are resources that you as a caregiver may want to take advantage of for your loved one. These are programs that are in the state of New Jersey, within every county. And one of the programs is throughout the United States. These are some programs that are commonly known by what I might refer to as majority population, but I find a lot of the underserved population does not know about these programs. And so what I do when I do presentation is to let people know about the program. You may not benefit from the program today. You may not have a use of it. However, when you know of it, you might have a conversation with someone else and you can say, you know what? I heard about this program that you can use to help for your loved one. If you would like to take pictures of the screen for these programs, please feel free. This first program that I want to talk to you about is called Jack. And if you see on the left side of your screen, Jack provides all these different types of services: care management, home health aides, respite care. And Jack stands for Jersey Assistance for Community Caregivers. This is for a person such as you or I, living in our home, and we are caring for our loved one. We can actually receive funds. You as a caregiver in the state of New Jersey, you can be paid through the Jack program to care for your loved one. A lot of people don't know this. New York has a program through Medicaid. Jack is not through Medicaid. And here's the key here. I'm going to put up some of the qualifications. With Jack, it's for someone who does not meet the financial eligibility for Medicaid. So on the screen, you see it says MLTSS, Managed Long-Term Services and Support. That is a form of Medicaid. That's part of the Medicaid program. And so some people feel, oh, my family or my loved one has too much money to qualify for Medicaid, but not enough money to actually pay for services. So you're kind of squashed in the middle. That's where Jack comes in. And if you qualify for Jack, then you can have, either you as the caregiver can be paid, or Jack can help to bring in services into your home. And that's the key. This is for someone that you're trying to keep your loved one at home. Sometimes there's a copay, but it's something like maybe $10. So instead of paying $100 to have an aide come in, maybe you're paying $10 for an aide to come in, which makes it much more affordable for you. You can see the phone number there. It's 877-222-3737 to call about this program. So within every county, there is a Jack program, all right? So as I said, feel free to take pictures of it. And it's really geared towards someone who could have gone into a nursing home or could have gone into assisted living, but their family is caring for them at home. And this is help that financial help that you can receive. The next program is the Personal Assistance Services Program. Now, this program is within the state of New Jersey, and it's for people who have a permanent physical disability and they need help with what we call your activities of daily living: bathing, dressing, toileting, transferring. And they're living at home, or they could be living with someone, but they're employed or they're preparing for employment by going to a vocational trade school, or they're in school, or they're actively volunteering in the community. So this is someone who is not like the person before, that you couldn't do anything on your own or you needed to care to come in your home. This is you, and you're younger and you're working, but you have a permanent disability and you need help. This program will help to allow you to hire someone to help you with the things that you need. This is for people between the ages of 18 and 70. So these are people who are still working. You're trying to work, you have a disability, and you need some help. This is what this program will do for you. On this next slide, these are the phone numbers for the various counties within the state that you can contact. A lot of the people on this call may be from Union County, but you may know someone in another county, but these are the various counties where you can contact to get in touch with someone for the Personal Assistance Service Program. And the last program I want to talk to you about is one of my favorite. It is Project Lifesaver. And Project Lifesaver is a program that is throughout the United States. So you do not have to be a resident of the state of New Jersey. And this program trains law enforcement to locate people who wander. Now, this can be for elderly people who have some form of dementia, or it could be for young people who have autism or Down syndrome. If you see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it's this little bracelet, and that bracelet would be given to your loved one. And if the loved one goes missing, you call 911 and they can track down the person. Now, here's one really key factor here. This is not like GPS, because you know how sometimes in GPS, it doesn't work in certain areas. This is a radio frequency tuned in with the police. And so therefore they can find the person. And with Project Lifesaver, they have found that this is a more effective way of locating our elderly or our children who may have developmental disorders. So this is basically free. So a lot of people don't know about it. So you can get your loved one registered. You can get into this program. The qualification is the person has some type of dementia or Alzheimer's or traumatic brain injury, or a child with Down syndrome or on the autism spectrum, or they could also have a traumatic brain injury, but you are keeping them at home. You're trying to keep them home. And so therefore you are the caregiver. And you give this bracelet, the police are trained, you call, and then they will find your loved one for you. Okay? So this is throughout the United States. Here, I just wanted to tell you about some resources within Union County and the state that's very helpful or could be very beneficial to you. So within Union County, you have the Division on Aging. That's the phone number there. And here you can find out about a lot of programs that might be helpful for someone who is 60 years and over or has a disability. The Union County also has a nutrition program, so that will help you with food. So there are a lot of food banks, food pantries around. But if you're a resident of Union County, you can become a part of this program that will make sure that your loved one is getting nutritional meals. And then there's Medicaid. Medicaid is a way that will help pay for doctor visits, medical visits, care in the home. Medicaid will pay for care in the home, and you would have to call to fill out the application and to qualify. So there's a financial qualification and a medical qualification for Medicaid. In the state of New Jersey, we also have respite care programs. And Anne Marie LaFace is the person who's the organizer for Union County. And what the respite care program does is it will pay for your loved one to be in a facility temporarily while you vacation and rest up. So a lot of people think respite care is for the senior. It's not. Respite care is for the caregiver. So this is money that you can either have for someone to come into your home temporarily. And I say temporarily because it doesn't pay for the person to be there forever, or for the person to go into a facility temporarily, and you can go vacation or whatever it is that you need to do to give yourself time to recharge. They pay upwards of about $4,500 for this care for you. So it's a good bit of money to help you to go and relax. A lot of people don't know about the respite care program. And I usually get calls in October, November timeframe from the counties saying, Connie, do you have any clients that could utilize this program? Because any of you know who work with budgets, if you don't use the money, you lose the money. And so they want to use the money every year. So this is an excellent program, and there's every county within New Jersey has a respite program. It's just a different person who will facilitate it. But since the chapter that's hosting primarily serves around Union County, is why I'm putting the Union County information here. And then there's PHARM, but it's just for pharmacy, pharmaceutical assistance for the aged and disabled, PAD. This will help you to pay for medications. So as we age, we get on to more and more medicine. So that's why it's key to take care of yourself. And it can become a bit expensive. So this is a program, if you qualify, that will help pay for your loved one's medication. And then we have Alzheimer's of New Jersey. Alzheimer's of New Jersey also has a respite care wellness program. And with the Alzheimer's of New Jersey program, you will get $1,000. So the $1,000 could probably help in bringing someone in the home. It may not be helpful if you wanted to put someone in a facility while you went on vacation for a week, or let's say you had to travel for work for a week or something. So their respite program is $1,000. There's the number there for support groups. Remember what we talked about, asking for help. And then they also have care for the caregiver, okay, with the Alzheimer's of New Jersey. Now, when I said earlier, we were going to talk about being a caregiver, the importance of taking care of yourself. I was going to give you some resources, and then I was going to teach you a technique on how to relax yourself. Okay, so this is called a body scan. And I'm going to ask you now, if all of you, if you will participate in this body scan, and then at the end, let me know how you feel. All right? So I want us to begin by bringing your attention to the environment around you. Slowly look around, and I want you to notice that you're in a safe place at this moment. Now bring your attention into your body. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or you can maintain a soft gaze with your eyes partially closed, but not focusing on anything in particular. You can notice your body seated wherever you're sitting. Feeling the support of the chair and the floor beneath you. Take a few deep, long breaths. Stay within a range that's comfortable for you. As you take a deep breath, you're bringing in more oxygen, which is enlivening the body. And as you exhale, you may experience a sense of relaxing more deeply. I want you to notice your feet on the floor. Notice the sensation of your feet touching the floor. The weight and the pressure, the vibration and the heat. You can notice your legs against the chair, pressure, pulsing, the heaviness, the lightness. Notice your back against the chair supporting you. If you're not able to notice all these sensations in these areas of your body, it's okay. We are more connected to certain areas of our body than others at different times of the day. Now bring your attention into your stomach area. Is your stomach tense or tight? Can you allow it to soften? Take a breath. Notice your hands. Are your hands tense or tight? See if you can allow them to soften. Notice your arms. Feel any sensation in your arms? Do your best to allow your shoulders to be soft. Notice your neck and your throat. Try to allow them to be soft. See if you can invite a sense of relaxation in. Try to soften your jaw. Do your best to allow your face and facial muscles to be soft. Then notice your whole body present. Take one more breath. Be aware of your whole body as best you can. Take a breath. Slowly open your eyes without focusing on anything in particular. Allow the head and the neck to gently rotate, taking in the space that you are in. When you're ready, you can return to your normal gaze. Okay, how do we feel? Okay, sometimes I do the body scan and people fall asleep.
Connie,
and it's okay.
I could tell you, I feel good. I didn't even realize I was holding a lot of tension in my jaw until you said, notice your jaw. And my whole face was like, and I was like, whoa, okay. So that was really self-reflective and enlightening, because I wasn't paying attention to my body and where my tension was. So thank you for that.
And so that's something that we can do, because as Liz was saying, as you go through the day as a caregiver, or maybe not even a caregiver, but as we go through the day, we're not paying attention to our body, and we don't even realize that our jaws tight, our shoulders are tight, your stomach, you don't realize how you're holding your stomach, how you're holding your hands, and so when you focus on it, then you go, oh wow, that was tight, and loosen it up. So body scan is a technique that I try to teach caregivers to utilize, and you can do it sitting in your car. You don't need any equipment. You can do it sitting in a chair. Just have a seat and start at the top and work your way down and focus and breathe. And you'll see, oh my goodness, I am just totally tensed. Okay. So I know we were going for about an hour, and I have some time now. If anyone would have any questions, I will gladly entertain them. As Liz said when we started, I'm Constance Pizarro, and I have all these letters with my certification. It's my QR code. If you would like to, you can grab that, get my website. If you want to put your email in the chat, I can make sure I add you to my mailing list so that you can receive my newsletter. But if anyone has any questions about anything that you might be going through now with someone that you're caring for, please, you can come off mute. You can ask me a question. If you want to type it in the chat, you can do that as well. I just want to leave the QR code up in case anyone missed it, so you can get that. I'm going to see what we have here. If we have any questions in the chat. Okay, someone asked me to put the slide back up for the here you go, the Personal Assistance Service Program. I'm not sure which page they wanted. Okay.
Is there contact information for the PASP?
Yes, and here's the second page with the contact information.
Okay.
So it's by county.
Great. And Connie, while people are getting that information or re-grabbing that screen, I'm curious, can you tell us a little bit about Oasis advisors, and if I suddenly am thrust into a caregiver type situation and I call you, what's the process that you might take me through and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So with Oasis Senior Advisors, we are certified. Well, I am a certified senior advisor, and I do have a team. And the first thing we do is we start out with a consultation to talk to you to see what is going on. Okay. What is it that you believe you need help with? Now, everything is not about placement, meaning taking your loved one out of the home. Sometimes it's not even about care. Sometimes it's about you as a caregiver. But whatever it is, we talk to you about where you feel you need help or whatever your situation is. Based upon that, we will offer you options. So if you're looking for care, but you don't know what care looks like, we will say, here are your options. You have a loved one that needs help. Either you can take care of the help yourself and do it yourself. Here are the pros and the cons of that. Here are the financial implications of that. You can bring care into the home. What does that look like? Pros and cons and the financial implications of that. You can have move your loved one outside of the home. What does that look like? You can have your loved one go to adult daycare. What does that look like? And so we give you different options. Then you, as the family or the power of attorney for that particular person, you decide and say, I would like to try having someone come into my home. Let's say you choose that. Then I would say, okay, you live where? Where do you live? Where is care going to take place? Okay, this is, and I've already told you how much it's going to cost approximately. Then I'm going to refer you to home care companies that I know can meet your need. I will send your information to them and their information to you. They will reach out to you. You can reach out to them, and you would enter into a contract with them. You would need, of course, to pay them, but services from me are totally free. So you don't pay me. Okay, so you don't pay me. If you decide you want to do adult day and you want to try that, I refer you to adult daycares. If you say, I've tried home care, which is where I get a lot of my clients, is they've tried home care, but now their loved one, especially those who suffer from some form of dementia, after a while, they can't do it anymore. The person begins to wander, or the person becomes very expressive, and they can't take care of them in the home anymore. And then they say, I need to find placement, but I don't know where to begin. And so then we talk about the different types of placements, assisted living, memory care, nursing homes. And then we talk about the financial implications of it. And what does that look like? Do you need to get on Medicaid? Do you need one of these programs? Do you have long-term care insurance? Are you a veteran? And all the different programs that may be available. And then we would set up for you and recommend places. We set up the tour for you. We will accompany you on the tour. We give you questions to ask. And then we will, once you've decided upon a place, we'll negotiate the contract for you so that we will get you the best price possible. If there are any incentives out there, we will ask for those incentives. We will, sometimes they make incentives for my clients. They call them the Connie special. And we do that. We help you move in, and anything that's needed with the placement. If you need to sell your home, we will refer you to a realtor. And when I say we refer, it's not just any old one out the yellow pages. These are people that we have vetted, that we know will provide good services, and they're not going to take advantage of you, and they're senior friendly, and they understand how to work with a person who has dementia. Because sometimes we have solo agers where there isn't a family member that's helping them, and we're working directly with the senior. But at all times, our services are totally free to our families. We do get compensated by places that we have contracts with. So that being said, sometimes we're compensated for the people we work with, and sometimes we're not. Wow. Because we do help a lot of people who are on Medicaid, and we do not get, compensated for Medicaid because that is a federal and state funded program. So that would be considered like a kickback. So we can't get compensated for that, but we help a lot of people with that. And I kind of call that commission for my soul. Right. It makes me feel good. And just the other day, a member of our organization contacted me because she had attended a workshop that I did for the Patterson chapter. And she said, I need help. And my mom's on Medicaid. I don't know what to do. I don't want to put in these nursing homes. Can you help me? And it just so happened that one of the very nice assisted livings had a memory care bed available in Medicaid, a Medicaid memory care bed. That's like finding a unicorn. It just doesn't happen. But they had called me and said, Connie, want to let you know, we have a Medicaid bed, female Medicaid bed in memory, if you know someone, if any of your clients. And I said, no problem. I'll keep it. I'll just keep that, until it comes about. Now, these beds don't last forever. So she had told me last week. So I called her up. Barbara, is this still available? She says, yes. I said, okay, hold it for me. I got somebody. She's going to call you.
Wow.
And she went there. She was like, I can't believe this place is Medicaid. I said, it's not. But they have a Medicaid bed. And see, and that's something that we don't always know when those opportunities come about. A nice place that has a Medicaid bed available, because by law, they must have so many Medicaid beds. And if the Medicaid beds aren't full, they got to fill them. And so they'll call me and say, I got a bed available. You know someone.
Wow. Wow, Connie, that's amazing. I think most of us who know you or have seen you in action, because there are a lot of sorority members on the phone, and aren't surprised that what you do is a passion and a labor of love, because that you are a servant leader. And but it's just amazing how you're helping people. And wow. In the chat, there is a question. It says, how can I find these kinds of resources for my mom? She lives in Florida, in the Palm Bay, Bedford County area, and the person lives here in New Jersey. So what about situations like that where you're caring for someone long distance and out of state?
Okay, so it's a couple of things. One is you could go onto my website, Oasis Senior Advisor, Central Jersey, and you can put your mom's zip code in. And when it says to find a location, you can put your mom's zip code in, and then that zip code will connect you to the person in Florida that does exactly what I do here in New Jersey. And then they can tell you of resources. The other thing that you can do is you can call within Florida, the Division of Social Services for the state of Florida. And then they will direct you to the same services that I've talked to you about. The other one, though, is, remember, the Project Lifesaver is throughout the United States. But the other ones, the Personal Assistance Program and JAC, is in the state of New Jersey, but they may have something comparable. But if you start with the Division of Social Services, or they may call it Division on Aging, Office on Aging and Disabilities, but definitely in Florida, they have this. Definitely in Florida, because Florida, they have more services for seniors in Florida than I think any other state. Now, the medical care is not that great, but they do have a lot of services. So that's how you can find that in Florida or any other state that, if someone else is on here and you have a loved one in another state. But feel free to call me. You can call me and I will help you. Maybe you don't want to go on the internet and put the zip code in and get the person. Yes, I can connect you to that person in Florida to help you to find the resources. Because one of the things that we do is that we give personal hands-on service. So I'm not going to tell you about a resource in Florida because I don't have any experience with that resource or service. I know the ones here in New Jersey. However, the person in Florida is going to have hands-on experience with those services. And so that person can speak to you and say, while this service says they do X, Y, and Z, they really don't. They're not that good. Here's the person you really need to go to. Or they're going to say they charge you $200, and at the end, the bill's going to be $500. So we're very hands-on and know the services that we refer people to or don't refer people to.
Right. No, it's you when you need to know a person, right? So
yes.
One more question, and then I'm going to ask you to put your contact slide back up, just so people can get in touch with you. But what's like the number one mistake people make when they suddenly find themselves being caregivers, or when they come to you? Like what do we need to know so we don't make that mistake, so we can do the best job that we possibly can as we're navigating this, very complicated emotional journey?
Okay. Well, there's a few, and it depends on the situation. So if your loved one is in the hospital or is going into a nursing home for rehab, the one mistake that people make is signing those papers. When they ask you to sign the papers, or you need to sign this so they can get this care, you need to sign this, your loved one signs, not you. So if it's your mom or your dad or your sibling, they sign. And the reason I say they sign is that in one of those papers is something that says you're a guarantor that they're going to get paid. You're guaranteeing that they're going to get paid. So whereas your loved one may or may not live through this experience, the payment will come to you if you've signed as a guarantor.
Mm.
If that loved one has signed, it could either die with them if they pass, or it's attached to their estate and not to you. And so the main thing you want to make sure of, unless you want to put yourself in that position, is that you don't unknowingly put yourself in a situation where you are now guaranteeing payment for the care.
Wow.
So be careful with signing, because they will give you those papers and you're very nervous, you're emotional, and you're like, well, I just want my mom to get this help. Okay, I'll sign. And the next thing you know, you've signed as guarantor.
Wow.
Okay. The other mistake that people make, and this is when people have some funds and they want to apply for Medicaid. And a lot of people have heard the word spin down. You have to spin down your assets. When you apply for Medicaid, you cannot have assets in excess of $2,000. So if you have like $50,000, $200,000, they say, oh man, I want to get on Medicaid. I got to spend down this money. And they don't spend it down properly. Even though for tax purposes, you can give a gift to a loved one, you cannot when you're applying for Medicaid. That's the biggest mistake a lot of people make. They say, oh, the government says I can do this. I can give money to my grandchildren. And so people start giving money to other people. Then you apply for Medicaid and they say, oh no, you gave your money away. Oh. You now have a penalty. You're not getting Medicaid.
Oh, wow.
Don't give your money away. Okay. You need to talk to an attorney. Attorneys can help you to properly, legally shelter your funds. So I'm not saying spend all your money in a nursing home. No, but there's a legal way to shelter your funds. And so when you work with an attorney, yeah, they may charge you $3,000, $4,000, but if you got $500,000, it's worth paying $3,000 to keep it.
True that. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome.
It's wow. I can't believe it's 7:59 already. So again, everybody, please take a picture of this screen, join her mailing list, make sure you have the number. You've got her email address on the phone, on the screen there. Connie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Truly appreciate you. You know, I learn every time I'm in your presence, and today it just like went to a whole other level. So I thank you so much for making time to present to us tonight and share this critically important information that needs to get out there to underserved communities and overserved communities, all communities. We need this information. So thank you so much. With that, let me turn it back over to our president, Ms. Dina Lawson, for closing remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Liz Nolly Tillman, and thank you, Ms. Constance Pizarro, for that informative session, just a wealth of information. And thank you all for joining us this evening as well. I have some takeaways here. I asked for help. So that's something we often forget. So thank you for that reminder. And we all need to keep that in mind. Also learned about JAC, Jersey Assistance for Community Caregiving. There are, I know several who really need some home care, but not on Medicaid. And so I think that's an excellent resource. And we thank you for sharing that resource with us as well. body scan. Self-care is key, right? I kind of wanted to be doing that out in the field with like the young man that was in the slide. I think so. I'll do that later on tonight. But I think that is something that I'm definitely, that's a good takeaway, and I'm going to keep that in mind. And I hope that you all will do the same again. But thank you all for joining us. It's an excellent presentation. Thank you so much for sharing the wealth of information with us. And if there aren't any additional questions, I think we can close it out for the evening.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.